This is a solar camera, 4G powered. But guess what? If you are building in Ghana, you need at least one of these because theft is very common. Now, in this video, we are going to tell you two very important factors to consider if you are building in Ghana, you want to build in Ghana, or you generally want to relocate to Ghana. And it's not necessarily solar cameras. It's not about security. It's crazier than that. All these and more coming up next. Now, in this live video, we are going to look at what's been trending this week. Today is the 1st of June 2025. And so I want to say a very happy new month to everybody who is watching. Immediately you start watching this video, comment in the comment section where you are watching from and let us know as well how your building project is going. So for this video, we are going to first of all look at the question of the day, which was sent by one of our subscribers. Then we are going to look at the trending news, which is about the Wager Dam spillage. We are going to look at demolitions that happened on the Sakumo Ramsa site. And then we are going to look at a trend analysis of the prices of building materials from 2022 to 2025. Now, with that said, let's get straight into the question of the day. Also, we have people in the live interactive session. So if you want to contribute to the discussion, if you are on our WhatsApp community, the link has been shared. Just click on the link and you would be able to join to share your thoughts. We already have Courage who has joined, and I know a lot of people are going to join. And if you want to join the WhatsApp community, this is the QR code. So just scan the QR code and you'll be able to join. We already have a lot of people on the YouTube. We have Lady Ivy saying hello. Lady Ivy, it's good to have you here. We have Kwejo Memphis saying you are doing an amazing job. Keep it up. Oh, good to see you here, my brother Kwejo. We have Edward Edu saying watching from North Carolina, USA. And of course, Richard, greetings to you and everybody who is watching. Fantastic having you here. So let's move straight into the question of the day. We got this question from one of our subscribers on YouTube, and this is what the person says. He says, I have watched a lot of your videos and recent YouTube conversations. I am a 27-year-old guy, but I have 350,000 cedis I want to allocate to build a 3-bedroom house. I don't have land yet. Please advise, can I work with an agency to help build everything, or I should build everything by myself? I have zero experience in building. Please help a brother. Now, I want to hear what you guys have to say to this family member or community member who is 27 years old. He saved 350,000 cedis. He has zero experience and has zero, he doesn't have any land as well, right? What would you advise this person to do? Should he learn the hard way and start something by himself, something maybe a 1-bedroom instead of doing the 3-bedroom, so that at least he can gain the relevant experience before moving on? Or he should give everything to a developer like ourselves to handle the project for him? For us, we only take projects that are in Accra. And so, for example, if this person wants to build outside of Accra, we cannot pick on that project. What are your thoughts? Comment below and let us know. Now, if I'm breaking down his question, there are some key pointers that I see. One, lack of experience. But the good thing is, in today's internet age, with videos like what we are putting out there, making the whole process of building very transparent, you don't necessarily need to be a guru or a real estate developer. A lot of information is out there to guide you so that you know the pitfalls to avoid, you know the dangers to avoid, and you know the right things to do if you want to start a building project. So first of all, I would encourage him, before you go into a building project, you need to go into it with as much knowledge and information as possible. Even if you give it to a contractor or a developer to build for you, and you don't understand the very basics, you can't challenge them if they are doing something wrong. You won't even know if they are doing something wrong. So first of all, watch as many videos as possible. We have videos starting all the way from buying land, which is another thing I've observed. He doesn't have land, right? And so your 350,000 cedis, depending on the location, and in a minute we are going to talk about why location is such a critical thing that you need to consider if you are buying land in Ghana. In fact, it's one of the two most critical things that you need to consider. The location can take away the whole 350,000 cedis, right? And so if he wants to build a 3-bedroom house, he is obviously not looking at anywhere in Accra. Because in Accra today, the minimum cost of land is about 150,000 for the outskirts.
Yeah.
And so if you take 150,000 from 350, you're left with 200,000, and it cannot build you a 3-bedroom house. So possibly look for a half plot of land or a quarter plot of land. And if it's 150,000, half plot is 75,000, then you have more money at your disposal to probably build a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom. And even then, it depends on the design. Now, speaking of design, please get an architect to give you something that will work for your budget. Let the architect know that, okay, maybe the maximum I have for land is 50,000. If I take it out, I have 300,000 cedis. What can you do for me? Is it a house on a half plot of land or a quarter plot of land? Is it, what kind of materials are you using? Are you using cement and blocks, or are you using bricks? Are you using rammed earth? Are you using interlocking bricks? What kind of materials are you using? Once the architect does that, it is really going to help you then, because you can get a bill of quantities that's going to guide you. For me, my recommendation is start a 1-bedroom project, right? When you do it, you learn so much. You get hands-on experience about buying land, avoiding litigation, registering your land, getting a building permit, getting contractors, negotiating with artisans and all those things. And then when you experience all those things, you would be able to actually then move to the next level of now going into a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom house. So for anybody who doesn't have any experience, that's what I'll suggest. Let me read some of the comments coming in. Karijadai says hi. Edward Edu says, learn as you build. Rita says, can you do central region? No, we cannot do central region. We can help you with the architectural drawings. We can help you with a bill of quantities to guide you, so that if you get a contractor, you can challenge whatever quotation that they are going to give you. And we can help you with consultation. Those are the basic things that we can help you with, right? So let's move on to the topic of the day. Again, I want to hear what you think this friend of ours should do. So just comment and let us know. Now, in the trending news, which takes us to the first and most critical thing that you need to consider if you are buying land or building or want to move to Ghana, the location. Location is really key, right? There are places that perennially, year after year, they are suffering issues of flooding. And these issues of flooding are not coming about because of some torrential rainfall. These floodings are coming because the people are located on waterways, or they have built their houses pretty close to a dam. And because their houses are pretty close to the dam, when the dam gets to certain levels, the gates of the dam need to be opened so that the structural integrity of the dam is preserved and not compromised. And so people living downstream of the dam suffer. And let me mention some of these areas just in case you are planning to buy land in these areas. So there's a place called Tetegu, there's Lower Makati, there's Oblogo. There's Oblogo. Yeah. And then there are people within the wager communities, right? Last year it happened, last 2 years it happened, last 3 years it happened, last 4 years it happened. And guess what? This year as well, it is coming to happen. And the residents have been warned. They are saying that they are not going to move. So let's listen to this news article.
Downstream communities remain unwilling to evacuate, citing a lack of alternative shelter and poor strategic planning by the authorities. Channel 1 News' Sheba Araba Benin has more in this report.
On Friday, May 23, Ghana Water Limited issued an evacuation notice to residents living downstream of the Wager Dam. According to them, the current operating level of the dam stands at 45 feet, just 2 feet below the safe operating level of 47 feet. Hence the need to spill excess water from the dam to avoid its breakdown. As a result, residents in communities such as Tetegu, Oblogo, Pambra Salt, Lower Wager, and Lower McCarthy Hill have been urged to evacuate to prevent loss of life and destruction of property. The last time the spillage was done, hundreds of residents were left homeless and several properties were destroyed in the process.
But a friend is last been 4 years now, and you're mostly be choku. Satana Tina was on Tina Koji, Mukoyi, and Frimina Ecoy. At the announcement, no. ɛyi so but yɛn ho sɛ yɛyɛ ha deɛ nti saa ne ti na yɛtwɛn.
Mu bi akɔn fa ɛba na ɛdɔɔso ba yɛntumi mu bi esi a yɛsɛ yɛ mu bi a yɛsɛ wokɔ rɛnti ɔbɛ ku fɔ nti nsi a saa sika no ani wɔn nti ebi a yɛhwɛ ebi a ɔmo bie ɔmo level na yɛbɛkɔ na yɛkɔ sisi a na deɛ ɔmo bɛbie na ɛmba so a
so ɔmo si yɛ movie wɔ ha deɛ na ɔmo pɛ baabi ma yɛ na sɛ ɔmo bie a yɛtumi akɔtena hɔ na sɛ ɛkɔ a yɛasa aba.
Nti kyerɛ sɛ ɛnyɛ adeɛ a wɔbɛ movie ɔmo bie dam.
Ɔmo bie dam na sɛ wura mi dɛm nko adeɛ no mefiri kuro no but because nsuo yɛ adeɛ bi a ɛni nsa na waka sɛ wobɛtena mu ana wobɛnya baabi a so nsuo de wo kɔ a ɛno asɛ de wo kɔ saa wonya baabi nso mu.
The affected communities are calling on the government to implement more sustainable measures to reduce the extent of damage caused by the spillage.
Sabamba mu a because aha no ehia gota wa ha. Ena amna na nso no wo mu ɛyɛ dam no so ombra beti mu. Omu yi mu a na se kɔfo mu a ɛyɛ sɛ ombeja ni sabi.
If you want to say so I come say oh Morocco no ba be bra hen no ma bie dam no so say bia say ba na ma bia we bie na be si ma ombeja isa you na be those wo mo no ma.
A fisherman who was severely affected by the spillage 2 years ago.
Right. So essentially what they are saying is that they are not going to move because one, they don't have anywhere to go. And I think it makes a lot of sense. That's what I'm right.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. But if you don't have anywhere to go, are you waiting till something happens?
Yeah.
That's my question.
Yeah.
I understand you don't have anywhere to go, but how long? I mean, you want something to happen before you can look for a place to go to.
Yeah. I completely understand you. Now, the unfortunate thing is that those people, one, they need to consider where are they going to rent, right? And it's not like you just have money all of a sudden lay down for rent. Rent in Ghana is very expensive. Exactly. They are not aware that the flood is going to happen. And so rent in Ghana is very expensive. I recently had to rent a place and it was for a 2-bedroom house. It was 1,500 cedis per month minimum, right? And if you convert that, that's like, let's say, $150. It doesn't sound like a lot to people who are outside Ghana, but for the average Ghanaian, it's a lot, considering that most landlords take like 1 year advance, 2 year advance, right? And so if you are taking even 10 months, 1,500 is 15,000 cedis. Then last week, when we spoke about the agency fees and all that, they also taking an additional 10%. So if you are doing like 2 years advance, that's like 30,000 plus the fees for the agents. You are moving close to 40,000 cedis that people need to cough up all of a sudden, which they never planned for. You get me? And people have their entire businesses within the same area, the Wager, the Oglogo, the Tetegu, and other places. And so that's why, for me, one of the most important things that anybody needs to consider if they want to live in Ghana or buy land in Ghana, especially Accra, is the location. We keep stressing on these places so that you are completely aware and you can't say, oh, you never knew about it. You get me? We have done whole series of videos about places that get flooded when it rains. And so Wager, Tetegu, Oblogo, Lower Makati, and even if you live at Kaswa, you should be concerned because typically when it floods, you use that route to go to work if you work in Accra. So sometimes you don't buy land in the exact area, but what's happening around that area will affect you. Yeah, so people don't
like
care.
Every year, you know, so like some of them are buying kilos and things already.
Yeah,
so
but
it's like what's next?
Yeah, I mean, if you read this article from Ghana Web, right? I want us to go and read this article from Ghana Web. The residents are saying that they don't care, right? Despite repeated warnings from the Ghana Water Company Limited about the impending spillage of the Wager Dam, residents living in low-lying communities along the dam have vowed to stay put, citing desperation and a lack of relocation options. Ghana Water Company Limited earlier this week began spilling excess water from the dam, right, by opening 2 of its 5 gates a move necessitated by rising water levels due to recent heavy rains. The company warned that the spillage was critical to protecting the dam's structural integrity and preventing a potential disaster. However, many residents in flood-prone areas say they have nowhere else to go. We've been through this before. So like you are saying, they are just tired and fed up. Every year they open the dam and water enters our homes. But where do they expect us to go? One resident asked in frustration. With past spillages leading to widespread flooding, displacement, and property damage, residents remain fearful but resolute. Some said they were prepared to climb onto rooftops to survive the floods rather than abandon their homes. Even if the water comes, we will stay on the roof if we have to. This is crazy. We are not living because the water could come, right? There's the water coming from the ground, and there's the water coming from the air. Imagine that it's flooded on the ground and it's raining the kind of rain it rained today. You cannot be on the rooftop forever. You get me? So these are serious things that we need to consider and look at as a nation. So the people are not ready to move. They say they are prepared to go and climb the rooftop to stay there. Now, the Wager Dam spillage has become an annual challenge for communities along its banks. Yet many claim this year authorities failed to adequately engage them before opening the dam gates. Several residents expressed anger toward Ghana Water Company Limited for not directly informing them or involving community leaders in advance. They didn't come to speak with us. These are quoted words. They just opened the gates. We should have been part of the conversation, a community member said. As of now, only 2 gates have been opened, but Ghana Water Company Limited has indicated that more may follow depending on weather conditions and water levels. This is just sad, Etonam.
Yeah, and you can tell that right now, the water levels will keep going up because aside the rain is adding.
The rain is adding to
right,
it.
and it was at 45. And they are telling you that when it gets to 47,
they are going to open everything. Right now, they've opened 2 at 45.
Yeah.
So when it gets to 47, they are opening all the gates. And with the rate at which it is raining, opening of all the gates could be sooner than later.
I think we need to have a conversation with Ghana Water because it's as if, or it has nothing to do with Ghana Water.
No, it's a serious conversation we need to have with Ghana. Remember we did a TikTok and Instagram video.
Yeah.
And if you check the comments, maybe you can open that video and check.
Yeah.
People within that same area were saying that they don't even have what? They don't have water.
Water, yeah. So they
Right,
were asking
for
if
weeks.
if they could channel
Exactly,
the water
they can-
to the houses and
Exactly, transport the water.
so the
pump
question
like
is,
the water.
Ghana Water only looking for the money for us to keep paying water bills and not solve the problem?
Yeah, they should be giving
Or-
us service
or they
for
are-
the money that we are paying
Or
for. But we are not
they're trying
getting.
to tell us that the water is not good for people, which is which.
Maybe you have a point. Maybe the dam water cannot be treated enough for people to drink.
So-
because the people living downstream, all the way from Wager to Kaswa, don't have water, right?
Yeah.
And they are buying water from the tankers. And then they say, why are you spilling the water when we don't have water to
Yeah,
bath
yeah.
or to drink? It's a serious situation that we find ourselves in this country. I want to know what everybody watching this video thinks. And can we sue Ghana Water Company Limited?
Honestly, I think so. Because look, even in the comment section, it says, meanwhile, we have no water all over our mom firm. Then Tetegu has always been a low line. Like people are just, it's all complaints.
Yeah, it's a terrible situation. Let me read some of the comments. So we have a lot of comments coming from the YouTube live session. I just Rambo says, hi, what kind of materials could I use in flood zone? Why are you even buying land in flood zones in the first place? Right? I hope it's not a Ramsa site because we'll talk about that in just a minute. Right? What kind of material would you use in flood zones? We would encourage you not to build in flood zones.
First of all,
You know, if the land may be cheaper today, but in a few years, you're going to be having a lot of issues.
not in a few years, this year, no, you have issues.
You know, so maybe people watching should advise him. I just Rambo again says, good evening. How do you think they could solve this issue? Again, like some of the residents mentioned, they should do it like a progressive spillage. They shouldn't wait till it gets to 45. Maybe when it gets to 40, you open it small, so that it doesn't greatly affect the residents. You know, but I guess because of the way it rains almost every day nowadays in certain places, they couldn't keep up. And the thing too we are seeing here is poor communication between the Ghana Water Company Limited and then the residents. They should be able to let them know way ahead of time, have meetings with opinion leaders and the community, the
Yeah.
assemblymen,
Yeah.
you know, work with the district assemblies, the DCs, the MCs, to have a plan around it. But it's like, no, Charlie, they...
Unless they're trying to tell us that maybe they were not expecting the rain. So
No, but
it just rains
no,
magically.
Then the people there should be sacked.
You're not
So their
serious.
management should be sacked, because it means that there's
Yeah,
poor
like
planning.
this. My greatest nightmare in October 2022 during the dam spillage. It means that this person went through the same thing in 2022 in October.
Yeah, it's a terrible thing. Mark Daniel says it's the government's responsibility to provide these residents shelters because the lands were bought and registered at the Lands Commission in Ghana. Mosun Trim says, good evening from London. Good to have you here. Mark Daniel again says, I still don't know why people are still buying lands in Accra, especially people living in the diaspora. I just Rambo says, I'm currently studying the area of Volta for interest. I need to where he says, I just don't get it! Exclamation mark. How is it that they have so much water to waste, but it's like pulling teeth to have water flowing every day and have the nerve to bill you every month? I think he's agreeing with your comment about the Ghana Water Company Limited. So the lawyers and experienced people on the timeline, right? Can we sue them? Can we have a class action to say no for damage to property and all that, putting lives at danger and all that? Can we sue Ghana Company Limited? And which should be a priority? Is it opening it incrementally, the gates incrementally, or like relocating the people? Do they even have the capacity to relocate the people and create like maybe a temporary city where whenever they are coming to open the gate, they move the people? No, I think if the accommodation facilities were made available, and you know that you have a 2-bedroom apartment somewhere, maybe an affordable housing community. And when we are coming to do it, we move you people there. Would you be willing to go there, or you won't?
What's going to happen is that you are still going to end up destroying people's properties at the end of the day. So even when you move them and they come back, they still have to come and fix problems in their houses.
Yeah, but we need to relocate the people. We can't just open the thing and people have kids.
If you're relocating them, then you're relocating them like now and forever. So they don't have to come back to the same place.
Okay, so you mean we should clear the whole area?
Clear the whole area. Like how you put no build zone or something. Clear the whole area. Make sure that nobody can build there. So that when it's time for dam spillage and all these things, nobody's affected. Because today, you relocate the people. They'll move back tomorrow. So when it happens next week, you relocate them again. It doesn't get comfortable.
It's a never-ending cycle, and it's just terrible. All right, let's read all the comments. I just Rambo says, do you have any other flood plans like shelters or places to go once there's a flood? In Ghana, unfortunately, there isn't. You need to have family members somewhere that you are going to go to. Now imagine you have kids, right, who attend school within the community.
The community will flood.
Their whole education is impacted. Like the impact and the consequences of these things that we are seeing so lightly is very huge. There are real lives and human beings involved. There are families involved. There's education involved. There are destinies involved. You get me?
So before the entire building phase, the people, the municipality, they knew that was a flood area.
They got permits to live there. And that's why I'm saying that in this whole conversation, we need to go and find the MCs, we need to find the DCs, we need to find the municipal assembly people and see how we got to this level in the first place. You get me? So let's continue with the topic of the day, because today we have quite a lot of things to talk about and we really want to close also in a few minutes. So if you are enjoying this video, by all means, please like and share and subscribe, because it tells YouTube that we are doing a good job. It tells YouTube that this video is worthy to be shown to many more people so that we can proceed. Now let's move to the next topic, which is the Ramsa site demolition. And this is also another very sad one, a really, really sad one, and where people's properties were broken down, and it's sad.
Somewhere in March or April, that the Greater Accra Regional Minister, Linda Oklu, takes up the initiative to collaborate with the National Security and other allied agencies to effect some demolitions on Ramsa sites. And that exercise was carried out barely a week. And since then, we've not heard much about this particular initiative. But as we speak today, we are currently at the Sakumon Ramsa site, where we still see buildings or blocks standing right on the very site that the president directed for demolition to take place. Now, the aftermath of the Sunday downpour is what piqued our interest to come here and see the level of devastation that obviously would have happened when it rains. And the blocks you see right behind me are sitting in water. The owners are nowhere to be found at this moment. But as to whether they are waiting patiently for the dry season to continue with their intention to erect mansions on the waterway is what we are yet to see. We quite know that these occurrences have been going on for quite some time now. The previous administration, led by the Greater Accra Regional Minister Henry Quartey, took up the initiative to also demolish some properties on Ramsa sites. That ended nowhere because the political actors, the major big fishes that you can think of, rose up against that move, and the move ended abruptly. Today is another government. We are waiting to see if indeed they would actually walk the talk or just one of those mere promises without action. Here at the Ramsa site, we see a number of building or lands captured by people who obviously have the financial muscle to first fill the land, raise it to a certain level before they commence their constructions. We are going to go around to observe what the situation is in this area. The Ramsa site that is supposed to be a natural ecology is under threat, and human activities have led to the fact that the water is finding its path. Generally, these are all places that are usually flooded when it rains, and there is a natural course for water to spread and also occupy this terrain, because this has always been a designated area known as the Sakmon Ramsa site. But the situation and the activities of humans taking that step to build houses on waterways and boldly building even on the water itself begs a lot of questions and answers. Now look at that particular building. The owner has been able to erect a gate at the entrance, waiting patiently to complete this and dwell in it, a place ordinarily that is supposed to be occupied by water. Within the entire place, we see that a vast land on the Ramsa site has been occupied, leaving the water no option than to find its course. I want to presume that this is where you do your fishing and everything.
Yes.
Over the period, have you been able to catch some fishes and stuff?
Yes, we catch it.
You catch fish?
Right. So I mean, this is just crazy. Can you imagine that people catch fish where you are building your house?
Right at the Sakumono, where the railway is, those who live in community Tama, they would notice where the railway is. It gets to as high as the level of the railway.
Wow.
Right, and you see the fishermen with their canoe and their boats in the water, getting fish.
Are you serious?
Oh, but what is it? It's an area called Celebrity. Those who live in Sakumono will know. Just to where that hotel or the hotel is, they have a golf hotel. The water gets as much as to their place.
Wow.
And still.
Well, this is just crazy. And this was before the whole demolition started.
Yeah.
And so again, we are doing this video so that people are aware of two important things to consider when they are building in Ghana. The first point is location. We've looked at the Ga west side, right? The Weija, Tetegu areas. And we are saying that if you are buying land there, know that tomorrow dam spillage can affect you seriously and your entire family. Now, if you are moving towards the eastern side of Accra to Sakumono, and this place is highly expensive.
Yeah.
With land costing $80,000, $100,000, $200,000, right? And if you watch the interview from the Channel 1 guy, he says there's people who have the financial muscle who are buying in those
Of course,
places.
because they've lifted their foundations to a point where it's meeting the water. It's like 5 feet.
Wow.
Some of the walls are probably like my height.
Wow.
And if you've seen me before, I'm not sure that.
So, it's a very serious issue that we
Oh.
are discussing here. And it's like people don't understand what a Ramsa site is. Ramsa is a convention that we have signed as a country. And it's not just in Ghana. It's a convention of all the global states and all that. And you say that, in your country, you are dedicating this particular place as a wetland so that biodiversity, animals, birds, when they are doing their migration from Europe and things, when they get here, they use this as a transit point. They come and rest, they feed their families, they come on vacation, they come and do sightseeing and things. Then they get enough energy to continue.
Kofi say he didn't sign some.
But Ghana, dear, no, we don't like.
He didn't sign some.
You
that you went to sign.
Oh, I
So
see.
he didn't sign.
But we are getting paid and all
because
this.
they didn't
We are getting
need-
certain benefits for being part of that convention.
But yeah, you went to sign it.
No,
Because
but
no, that is exactly how they're behaving. Right? As if like they do not know. And you see, when you go to Keta, there's a very big symbol. One of the things I like about that site, it's a big symbol. There's like over like 5 symbols that says Ramsa site, do not build here. Ramsa site. I have not seen personally, correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't seen one that's like one yet.
okay, the signboards are not there. I'm
that's
sure
the
they've
Ramsa
taken
site.
it away.
But at Keta, is every point you see, and you will barely see a house
Okay.
or somebody trying to build. And for those who have even tried, there's no hope. And you probably see maybe one wall. It's barely there. But that one, is the
Everybody wants to be at Takumono. It's terrible.
They get
Right, so let's read
sea
some of the
view.
comments coming from the YouTube. Again, if you're enjoying this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Share it to all your WhatsApp groups so that we all come and participate in this discussion. This is a topic of national interest.
Share to
Right.
your influential
And tag all the people in
MPs,
power who need to
DCs.
watch this video. Retaidu Bobby says Ghana Water can make announcements on social media, radio, and TV. Claudia Alira says, I think the systems are not working in this country. Who gave the building permit? That's something that we also need to know. IND2ND says, it's not sad at all. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. They've been warned once too many times. Money can't buy common sense. Interesting. AJL says, what are your overall thoughts on building a house and living in Dodo and raising a family there for someone coming back to live in Ghana? I think this is a full video on this one. It's a full video.
But in short, I think it's a good thing.
It's a good thing, but it depends on where you work, right?
Yeah.
Unless he or she is on retirement,
Okay.
right? Unless you don't really care about where the kids will attend school and all those
Yeah.
things. You get me? Because Dodo is a relatively developing
Rural,
community,
okay.
very rural,
Yeah.
as it stands today. So where will your kids attend school, the hospitals, if you are the fun-loving entertainment type, where would you go?
Yeah.
So you need to consider all those things. But if you are
We'll
somebody
make
who
a
is
full
just
video.
indoors, it's a full video on it. So maybe we'll go there and
We'll
go
go there,
and
yeah.
do drone shots and stuff like that. So please subscribe so that you don't miss those videos. So the comments are coming in plenty. Nafisa Kasim says, I think we should feel bad for them because even if they were given permit to build, didn't they know it was a site? How you don't think we should feel bad for them? Didn't they know it was a site, not for building? We shouldn't let our selfish desires and interests get. Hey, people are angry.
They don't want to agree that they didn't know.
I swear, if they got me cry, they'll slap me. Nafisa Kasim says continuation in our way sometimes. Because after building and they start living there and it starts flooding, then they now call on governments for help. And when the help isn't coming, they say the government of the day isn't doing well.
At this point, they're not calling the government for help. They are saying that you do your own.
Yeah, they will not
who
go.
Who will stay there.
I just Rumble says, I saw today multiple videos of the brick safe company you were talking about, bricks made out of soil. Could you tell me if those bricks would fall apart if they are standing in 1 meter of water? Right. So I think we didn't cover that aspect in the video. So we'll probably do a follow-up and then give you the answer. God knows says, please, what's the current price of 2x6 Dahoma wood or ESA? Thank you. Please, let's check and then provide an update. Right. So we'll provide an update on wood. We have a video that we recorded on building materials, but we didn't do 2x6. So we'll check and give you an update. IND2ND says, could you tell me how people who are moving into a new area in Ghana could find out if it's a flooding zone? This is the best time to go and check. It is raining almost every single day. So go and check and see what the place looks like after it has rained or during the rain. Best advice I would give you. Retaidu Bobby says, is that the place where flamingos were in the 80s when I lived in Tema? Yes. Yes, that's exactly the place.
The back of Committee 3, no, that's exactly where it is.
Courage, Adai says, I have a decking around the old barrier, then I have to quickly cast it before it gets worse. Wilson Trim says, I'm considering buying land in a home near Pram Pram, and I just discovered that they have an issue receiving water in 2025 in Ghana.
Ghana water.
And I'm sure Ghana water is really messing up. We have AJR on the live interactive session. He's raised his hand. AJR, please unmute your mic and then share your thoughts. I believe you want to say something.
Yeah, how are you guys doing? Can you guys hear me? Yes, so I really appreciate what you guys are doing. So I had a thought around Dodo, so I'm in the process of buying land right now. But there are quite a few schools in the area. I don't know if you know the area pretty well, but there are a few international schools, and it is a Christian school right on the main road of Dodo that takes you all the way to OEB and all the way to Accra. So I just wanted to know. Hello? Yeah, something like that. And I think
You
there's
are
a
talking
preschool
about
there.
Valley View University.
Yeah. And then there's a few other schools in the area as well. And then the one I looked at was the Morning Star International High School. So that's that. So I just wanted to know your thoughts on Dodo overall in terms of purchasing land there and just the overall environment up in Dodo, honestly.
Right. Thank you so much for your question. I think we've answered it to a very large extent, right? It's a developing area. It depends on if you have kids and all these things. Let's make a dedicated video for it. Let's go to the place. Let's go and see the amenities. Let's get you all the facts. And we'll do a video for it. We have like a series where we are going to places and seeing amenities, value, proposition, cost of land, cost of houses, cost of rent, and stuff like that. So we'll add Dodo to the list, right? So let's read some of the comments coming in from the YouTube. But thank you so much for your question. We really appreciate it. Anybody who wants to join, please, the link to the live interactive session is in the YouTube live. It's pinned, so you can just click on it and join and ask your question or share your thoughts, right? And again, anybody else who is watching who has lived in Dodo or lives there, please comment so that we can all learn from you as well, right? So,
really quick, guys, one more question. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, you have another question.
So yeah, just one more question. So, in terms of building, what are the main 2 or 3 things that you guys would look out for? One of the main issues, I think, the flooding thing is one of them, right? Make sure that we're not in a flooding zone when it's rainy season. But is there anything else? Like one of the things that you said, the top 2, top 3 things to consider before building or while building?
Right. So thank you so much. I think we are jumping the gun here, but let's just move into it, right? So the first one is the location. Location has so many things, right? Location depends on like the terrain. Is your location a hilly area? Is it a low-lying area? You know, even with the hills, there are valleys, right? Are you in the valley or are you on top of the hill? Because if you're on top of the hill or on the hillside, you are going to face erosion-related stuff. Your roads could get completely deteriorated with a flash rain and stuff like that. You can't even move out of your house. If you're in the valley, you get flooded. If you're on the plain land, you get flooded. So location is really key. Again, some locations are really known for litigation, land guard related issues. Some locations are earmarked for government projects. Again, the Ramsa site completely, you need to avoid it. Some places are demarcated for road construction, airports, stuff like that. Some places have gold and other natural resources. So if you buy the land, it doesn't even belong to you. The government can come and take it. Or the illegal miners and things can come and then break your house or dig under, like we showed last week. So location, there are 1,000 things we can talk about location. Right. So that's the first and most critical part. The second part that you need to consider if you are building in Ghana is the rate at which building materials increase. Right. And so I think it's a good point to move on to the next part of the video, because today we said we are going to take 2 things. But before we talk about the rate at which building materials increase, and we have like a comparison from 2022 till today of the most commonly used building materials, let's look at this demolition project that is going on at the Sakumal place. I think people have seen the videos. It's just terrible.
Trending the entire week.
Yeah, people have invested. Like if you look at the concrete that you are seeing here, the iron rods, the cement, and everything, it's a lot of money. A lot of money. And people are kneeling down and begging that their building projects should not be demolished, but they are demolished. Completed houses that people are living in, churches and all that. were demolished. See somebody kneeling down and begging. People were so mad, but all these houses were demolished. And so this is something, again, that you need to consider so that you can avoid this like a plague.
Yeah.
You have something to say?
See, in the picture, the last picture, you see that the building is suffering from rising dam.
Yeah.
Which means that in the long run, that building is going to collapse. Right, but the people there don't really care about it like that.
In Ghana, nobody cares again. Like, everybody has been given up and everybody is just doing whatever they want, right? So I think there's a good point to move into the next part of the things that you need to consider, which is the price volatility when it comes to building, inflation, and the fact that if you are budgeting. For me, one thing I say is don't start a building project unless you can finish it in 2 to 3 years, right? A building project that's going to take you more than 5 years, 10 years, you are going to encounter so much in terms of inflation, exchange rate, poor prices, and so much, right? And it could greatly affect the likelihood that you will complete. You get me?
Honestly.
Yeah. And like, I see a lot of building projects that are not completed in Ghana. A lot.
Okay.
And statistics show that at least 30% of all building projects started in Ghana are never completed.
They say even that you even said this thing. Projects that were even started by the government.
Yeah, projects that were started by the government were not completed. Then you are the individual who has 350,000 cedis saved up, and you are going to build a 6-bedroom house. That's going to take you 16 years. Trust me. So I think it's a good point to move into the next part. Now, the prices of building materials have increased.
Yeah.
The cedi dollar rate situation has improved in favor of the cedi, but building material prices are still really, really high. And so the Ghana Real Estate Developers Association is calling on the manufacturers to reduce prices, wholesalers to reduce prices. And that takes us to the next part of our conversation, right? We have done a price analysis of building materials from 2022 to 2025, right? This channel was started in the year 2022, right? It was started May 2022. And from that time, every single month, we've been posting the prices of building materials. So we went back in time to look at month by month to see the percentage increase in building materials.
Yeah.
And just 2022 to 2025, that today is 1st June, you'd be amazed at how high the prices have increased, right? You wouldn't believe it, but we'll just get into it in a few minutes. So let's read some of the comments from the YouTube. I just Rambo says, what kind of housing is needed in areas like Old Tafu? Right.
Okay.
I don't know what you mean by what kind of houses. Maybe explain and then we can answer you better. Claudia Alira says, I think he should see you and pay consultation fees for more details. I agree. And so if you want to consult, right, book a session, this is our email address on the screen. Just send us an email and we'll support you. Again, if you want to purchase these solar cameras that we sell here to monitor your building projects to avoid theft and all these things, send us an email, abh@abhcollabs.com, and we will be willing to support you. Again, please like this video. It tells YouTube that we are doing a good job, so like it. Let's continue. The comments are coming in like a flood and they keep on coming. Posts are calling. Right. Mosun Trim said, how was land able to be sold in the site? I'm amazed. Surely land commission should have alerted individuals. It's a whole topic for another day. Kwame Alan says 2 to 3 year timeline for completion. Thank you for this. Mr. Kojoten says, is there a market for purchasing incomplete building? Yes, there's a market. And if you have an incomplete building you want to sell, please, by all means, send us an email. We'll market it for you and you'll get buyers. Lots of ready buyers. Right. I just Rambo says, Claudia Alira, I totally understand where you're coming from. I'm just a student and my teachers are having a rough time providing me information. So this type of live stream is really helpful. Mosun Trim says, I bought an incomplete building, Mr. Kujo. Okay, right. So the comments keep on coming. So let's look at how prices of things have increased from 2022, 2023 till now, right? 2023, right? Cement prices were between 85 to 98 cedis for the 42.5.
Yeah.
In 2025, they've moved from like 100 cedis, trending at about 124, 125 cedis.
Yeah.
So there's generally like a 20 to 25% increase in the price of cement. So what does that look like in practical terms? If you are building your project and you need a minimum of, let's say, 1,000 bags of cement,
Yeah.
which you could need more than that, right?
Obviously.
It means that in 2023, if it was 80 cities, you need 80,000.
Yeah.
In 2025, it's 125 cities, you are needing 125,000 cities. That is 45,000 cities difference.
Now you
And
get it.
just
That
the
is-
cement.
the money will come from where?
Yes. And guess what? If you go back into 2022,
Yeah.
it was 50 cities. And so it means that cement prices have more than doubled from 2022 to 2025.
Yeah.
And so if you were building in 2022, you could have built for half
The price.
cost that you are
Okay,
paying
the cost
today.
pay, yeah.
So today that most people are using like $100,000 plus to build their 3-4 bedroom
It's like
houses,
50.
they could have used $50,000 or less to build in 2022, moving into 2023. And that's why, again, I keep telling the audience that the more you wait, the more you're just throwing your money away. It's
Yeah.
like waking up, taking cash and putting it in the dustbin, right? Because prices of building materials in Ghana, when they go up, they don't come back down. And that is the second thing that you need to consider. When you are building, I know you guys have dreams of building your dream house on the first attempt. And people are building 16-bedroom houses. You saw a 16-bedroom house
Like,
for sale.
Till date, I cannot.
Nobody is going to buy your 16
Yeah,
bedroom.
that's why it is for sale.
You know, so you get a point. Build something you can afford to finish in 2 to 3 years, and then move in, or rent it, or sell it and get your money back.
Yeah.
When you are building, your money goes in a lot. It doesn't come back out.
At all.
You get me? So please, this is the second most important thing to consider. That in Ghana, fuel prices will increase. The dollar is going to bounce back. In fact, experts are projecting that by September to December, it will go back to 16, right? And when it does,
Oh, really?
building materials are going
So
to
we
increase.
change all the cities now?
Please, I haven't said anything. I beg you, I don't have a problem with Bank of Ghana. But what it means is that the people who are waiting now, that
Okay.
they are waiting for like the dollar rate to go higher, especially
Yeah.
the diaspora people, so that when they send $1,000, it gives them more materials. Guess what? When that time comes, you are going to have the reverse, because all of you who are waiting now are going to go in at the same time, and the
Yeah.
demand for materials are going to
So
increase.
the sellers will
Right,
increase
and
the
in the
prices for
economics,
you.
when the demand increases like that, the prices will definitely increase, because remember, there's clinker shortage in the world.
Oh, yes.
There's scarcity of cement and all that.
Yes.
You get me? And so once the demand
It's even
increases all
the
of a
scarcity of the
sudden,
workers. Let's add that.
yes, it means
Because
that
they're all traveling for
yeah, they're all
greener
going to Dubai and UAE and stuff. It means we are now going to be looking at maybe 150 cedis per bag. So the marginal gains you would have made from the dollar appreciating against the cedi, you are going to lose because building materials prices are going to increase. And right now is the rainy season where a lot of people are not building, right? So the demand has also reduced.
Yeah.
So prices can afford to come down. But when the rainy season goes away, the demand again generally will increase,
Yeah.
including yours, and you
Yeah.
are going to be at a disadvantage. So that's another thing that you need to understand, the dynamics of how the building season and building materials and prices work in Ghana, so that you can plan properly. Else you are going to really struggle. You are going to start your building project and you are not going to finish. Let's read some of the comments and then we come back and get ready to close. But keep liking and sharing this video. Right. So Kwame Alan says, I think comparing the percentage increase in cement price should also come with a USD exchange rate from 2022 to 2025. Definitely. Please check the dollar rate in 2022.
Okay.
Right. Mapi says they keep saying cement was in stock before the dollar depreciation. Some mentality way there. Mr. Kojo 10 says standardizing elements like windows and doors can reduce building costs. Also, please consider attending building shows in Las Vegas. Ghana needs building signs. Please, by all means, if you invite us, we'll go. Or won't go.
We'll go.
Yeah, we'll go. So please, invite us, sponsor us, we'll come. Right. Mr. Kojo 10 says, one building will feature 20 different sizes of windows and doors. I just ramble says, Mr. Kojo, I think that's way too expensive for most of them. The country is not prepared for that type of construction. Right. So have you found the rate of the dollar in 2020?
You want to be very specific.
Right. So let's read another comment which just came in. Rita Edubabi says,
Okay,
with
in
the rains,
2022?
my contractor hasn't finished my wall. What month can I expect him to continue with it? Around August into October. But now the weather has become very unpredictable. Even in December, which used to be peak Harmattan period, it rains. If he's building in Kwabenya doesn't care about the day, the month. It rains every single day in these areas. It rains every day. Right. So AJ says, what's the number to reach out to you for further info? Please send us an email by all means, right? Our email address is on the screen right now, abh@abhcollabs.com. So what's the exchange?
2022 it was a 13.
It was at 13, right? So it wasn't significantly different from what it is now. And so it's not like a 50% or a 20% like increment or whatever. So it's not commensurate. You get me? So the person who was asking, we've given you what you wanted to know. Now let's go back into the topic. And this is just for cement. Iron rods and other materials, it's a completely different ball game altogether. So let's look at those ones as well. So guess what? Iron rods from 2022 into 2025, the 8mm was selling for 12.70.
Now
today it's selling for 26, which is a 104.7% increase.
You know, this thing honestly bugs me. And the reason is iron rods do not expire.
Yeah.
Right.
So what?
And
So what? We should increase the prices. But fuel prices have increased within a period.
And then
I don't know if the raw materials from iron rods are all produced in Ghana. I should assume so.
Some,
right? Because there are factories that do iron rods in Ghana.
Okay.
But I don't know what goes into it. Electricity costs have also increased within that period.
Okay.
You get me?
So in molding the iron rods,
yeah, they will use electricity.
No, I don't think they make it in Ghana. I think they import it.
Please, the people who are watching, who know, let us know if they are manufactured in Ghana.
Based on the ECG story which happened, right, where they had some sheets that were missing, it was alleged that they import these rods, right?
But were they iron rods?
They were not iron rods, but I think most of the iron rods are imported.
Please, the experts watching.
Yeah, please let us know.
Comments, right? Yeah. So let's move on. 8mm, 104.7% increment. 12mm, 48 to 74.88. Today is almost at 80 cities.
Does this mean that, looking at this statistic, it's saying that the 8mm is one of the most purchased iron rods?
Yeah, you definitely need an 8mm.
That is why the price is high, because the demand will be higher.
Definitely. You make a good point. So again, let's proceed with the rest of the iron rods. The 16mm and the 14mm have all increased by about 50%. And if you are looking at the price of the ton, right, I think we did a video. Yes, this is us. This is my handsome face. What was the date this was posted? 10th January 2023. A ton of iron rods. These were the mouth steel. Were selling for 7,800 Ghana cedis. Today, it's selling for about 9,000 Ghana cedis.
Yeah.
You know, and so the prices just keep increasing like that. And we have all these videos here. You can always go and check them out. And so generally things have really increased. The same for blocks. The 5 inches and the 6 inches that we use the most, right, have moved from 6.4 to, and yesterday when I went to check, so we did this research before May ended, right? And we put all these together. Yesterday when I went to check, the 6 inches solid was selling at 10 Ghana cedis, so not even 8.9.
10 cedis.
Yes. So in June,
0.00.
yes, it has moved to 10 Ghana cedis for 6 inches solid. 6 inches hollow is selling for 9 Ghana cedis.
Oh, okay.
While the 5 inches solid is selling for 9 cedis, and the 5 inches hollow is selling for, I think, 8 Ghana cedis. Yeah. So the prices have drastically increased then.
So if you're sitting down expecting or hoping that because the dollar is dropping, the prices of building materials are dropping, it's rather going up.
Yeah, it's rather increasing. And it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse.
Oh, so somebody says, I know a company in Konongo who manufactures iron rods.
Fantastic.
Okay.
All right. So iron rods, they're like it's a different ball game altogether. And blocks are increasing because the cement is a critical ingredient for the molding of blocks. So as the prices have increased like that, we also expect the cement, the blocks to increase. Right. For me, when I was building, Charlie, 5 CDs, 6 CDs, 4 CDs,
that was at night cost.
Yeah, that was at night cost. You get me? So these things, the more you wait in Ghana, the more the chances that you will not complete is very high. You get me? So let's move to the other materials. In this video, we also give you the latest price of building materials after June, right? So if you want concrete nails, today it's selling between 50 to 80 cedis,
Okay.
whereas in 2023 it was 30 cedis.
Okay.
So it has more than doubled.
Concrete nails.
Yeah. And if you want Permaflex grout today, you can get it for 45 cedis, Permaflex 320, other kinds of, you know, waterproofing things, 45 cedis. Strip of filling material is selling between 1,400 to 2,000 cedis today. A trip of sand, depending on the cubic capacity of the truck, you can get between 2,200 to as much as 3,000, 3,500 in certain places. And you mentioned that you called somebody and you wanted sand somewhere.
At Triple Praso, 7,000 Ghana cedis.
7,000 Ghana cedis.
Yeah, 7,000
for double axle.
Yeah,
Like
for double axle.
it's crazy.
Yeah, and he said he even said the prices. He said he said in tree, right? He said, and it can even go up, right? So as the 7,000, that is what he's estimating or guessing for me.
Yeah.
Not even confirmed.
Because there's no sand winning
There's no
side
sand winning
in
side.
Triple
So he's
Crown.
telling me that if there's some, they're fine, but if there is not, you mean 7,000?
You're looking at 7,000
we're
cedis
going.
for a triple. That's crazy. Let's read some of the comments and get ready to wrap up. We have I Just Rambo says, are there construction methods that are getting more interesting now that the prices of certain items skyrocket? Yes, a whole lot, right? And we are going to be bringing you some of these, right? We've done an interview on rammed F. We've done interviews on other ventilation methods. We are looking at bamboo and other alternatives, right? So we've done the interview on, how do you call it, interlocking bricks. We want to explore further how we can do shipping containers and things like that. There are many alternatives, right? There are mobile homes and all these things that we need to consider. So alternatives, there are a lot. Please like, share the video so that we can get more people to see this and avoid some of these mistakes. So we have all these links. We'll leave some in the comment section. Now, the impact on the building projects, obviously, is the budgetary strain, the project delays especially, and people need to find ways to adapt. And my question to you is, how are you coping with everything that's going on in the country?
You know, easy.
Is your building project that affected? Has your building project come to a standstill because you're waiting? Or what actions are you taking? Again, if you are looking to purchase solar cameras, one is 3,300 cedis. But in this month of June, Father's Day promo for all the amazing, hardworking men in the Africa building community, we are giving you a 10% discount. We are selling this for 3,000 Ghana cedis. Again, the dollar rate has dropped. 3,000 Ghana cedis. Just in the month of June. After June, we go back to 3,300 cedis or even higher.
Father's Day promo, let me add.
Yeah.
Because we do not celebrate men enough.
Charlie, that one, we need to talk about it.
Use this to celebrate the man in
we need to celebrate and appreciate men. Men, we are going through a lot of things. We are suffering mentally. We have sleepless nights. We are killing ourselves, sacrificing for our families. There's no Father's Day song. It's not funny at all. Men need to be celebrated and appreciated. And I want to use this opportunity to celebrate all the hardworking men and fathers in the Africa Building Hub community. You guys represent about 75% of the audience. Big ups to yourself. We appreciate the sacrifices that you are doing. May God strengthen you and see your building project come to a successful end. Right? May you move into your building project. May you not die before you complete your building project.
Very important.
May you not get high blood pressure and suffer from all these things. Charlie, live a very fulfilled life. Happy new month of June. May June bring you all the blessings. And God willing, same time next week, we are going to see you on this channel. Thank you so much, Richard. We appreciate you. Thank you, Mappy. Thank you, the whole APH team. Thank you, Etonam.
Thank you, Frank.
If you watch till this far, right, say Happy Father's Day in advance. Then we know you watched till this point. So comment Happy Father's Day in advance, whether you're watching the live or the replay.